All right, visualization. So this is a relatively new concept for me. I mean, I've heard about visualization for a long time, but up until recently, it's not something that I really did a ton, and it's not something that I was really good at. So the biggest thing, we've talked about the Pomodoro effect before as well, is I want you to start while you're not training, trying to visualize techniques, visualize scenarios, things like that. So, and visualization for me can come in many different ways. So maybe you see yourself in first person where you are the person that's actually doing the technique. Maybe you see yourself sometimes as almost like a camera, and that's the way it is for me. I see not even necessarily myself, just two people and then me working through that technique, if you will, or one person working through that technique. I think the more time you spend, and this, I could be, like I said, this is not founded by any real science, but I think the more, me personally, I think the more you spend time watching techniques and watching people do stuff, it builds up a frame of reference for how to visualize that, if you will. So, closing your eyes, being able to kind of shut things off and just visualize. And at first, what I want you to think about is just the position. So boom, just trying to get myself, okay, half guard position or, mount. I want to see what that looks like. And then slowly working from there on, one little movement. So maybe just starting at side control and getting my hands in good position, things like that. And slowly working up the ladder of, okay, now two positions or two things like that. And in the beginning, it's going to be, you're going to probably laugh at it because it's probably not going to work. But just getting used to kind of settling in and getting, starting to visualize some of that. And then eventually what you'll be able to do is go through full sequences of techniques. For me, I can't ever see like a full match. You'll see some people talk about, okay, I've thought about every possible scenario, and which I think is a lie. I mean, there's tons of scenarios out there, but I've thought of every single scenario, and I went through this match I don't know how many times in my head as far as things. I can't personally see that. I'm not saying that other people can't, but that's too long of reference for me, in my opinion. Maybe I just haven't developed that enough. But for me, it's almost always one sequence. So like maybe doing a guard pass into side and then doing a dart from side. And then I have to kind of stop and then, put that into a thought. And then from there, maybe having that person switching mindsets and being the person getting out of that particular thing. I can do that, but it's really hard for me to do in an entire match. But it should be really easy after a while for you to visualize that. But if you're struggling with that, what I would say is watch, more people grapple in like tournament style. We're not talking like techniques. We're talking, kind of tournament style, and be cognitive of where their arms, legs, and things like that are. And even going as far as, while people are doing those techniques, maybe they're in a competition, a guy's doing a pass or whatever, be cognitive of where his arms are, and even say, okay, I see he's moving his left arm there, or his left knee is slicing across, or things like that. You don't necessarily have to, say it out loud, even though they say that it's better if you do. But I would say just kind of think of it in your head, and then you'll be kind of amazed about how much easier than it is to visualize that, because now you're starting to have those frames of reference for your mind to be able to use to be able to visualize.